BuckeyeHuddle.com, our southern swing continues. We have made it from the Atlantic coast to the Gulf Coast. We are out here in Tampa Jesuit. Always a great time here, always a great program here. We've been covering this program for a long time, it feels like. The next big name out of here, 2027 linebacker Kaden Henderson. First of all, Kaden, just how's your spring going? How's recovery from all the visits going?
I mean, it's going great. It's our second week of spring practice, so just getting back into things, just working with the team. You know, it's better than more chemistry. You know, we got a couple guys that's stepping in, so it's been going great.
Yeah, what are some things maybe with your game this off season you're trying to focus on, work on? I mean, you're obviously one of the top players in the country, but you know everyone can get better. And just are there some areas of emphasis for you this spring?
Yeah, really everything. I feel like every single year I'm just looking back at my game, just picking up on things I need to improve on. Really, I feel like my sophomore going to my junior year, I feel like I need to just build up on my leadership. You know what I mean? It was really my first year being a leader. I was a captain my sophomore year, so that was big for me. But I feel like I wasn't a vocal leader, so just probably getting on that. Also just getting faster, bigger. Every single aspect of my game, I think I need to get better on the little things for sure.
Yeah. So you have been up to Ohio State twice.
Yes, sir.
Let's go through the first one. You were at the Purdue game. What were your impressions of that game, atmosphere, anything that jumped out to you?
I mean, really everything. I felt like it wasn't a huge game because it was against Purdue, but I mean, still the atmosphere was crazy. You know what I mean? But it was definitely. I feel like they showed a lot of love. You know, I met Coach there. I talked to. I didn't really get to talk to Knowles because that's when Coach Knowles was there. But just diving into conversation with Laurinaitis, Coach Laurinaitis. So just on the field, going through pregame, just talking, how he sees me in the program, and things like that for sure. It was great.
Yeah. So, what are you aware of, like his career at all? Like,
sure,
okay, because he's like, man, some of you guys, like, I tell you about a guy that played in 10 years ago, and they're like, look at me like, who? I was like, yeah. But how does that hit you in terms of, being a guy who has played your position at a very high level? And potentially coaching you, how do you look at that, I guess?
I mean, it's great, absolutely. Just knowing that a coach has done everything that you want to do, you know what I mean? He's a Hall of Famer, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be a Hall of Famer for sure if he's not. But just a leading tackler for the Rams, just things like that. You want a coach that's done it. So, you know what I'm saying? When you're going through practice, he's helping you on the little things that he's done. So it's great for sure.
Yep. Then you got back in the spring for Student Appreciation Day. Obviously a very different type of atmosphere in terms of what you're able to do and see, but what did you take away from that?
Really just they're probably just the brotherhood they have over there. I mean, it's crazy. I feel like when I was there, everybody was just hanging. Sometimes you go to practices, you see guys just standing alone. I feel like it was a great brotherhood they have over there. Just talking to Coach Patricia too, I mean, that was great. The things he's done, coaching New England for one crazy about a Super Bowl. So it was a great overall day for sure.
Yeah, and I was going to kind of get into that, see if you did talk to Matt Patricia, because we're learning about him too. He's the first year at Ohio State. He's been in the NFL for a while. So how is he, once you get to talk to him, and it sounds like he's a pretty, I don't want to say like aggressive, like a pretty hands-on recruiter. Like he's just not letting the position coaches kind of do the recruiting. It sounds like he's taking an interest in guys like you.
Absolutely. I mean, I haven't too much time talking because I'm still a sophomore, you know what I mean? I feel like junior, that's when it's really going to start being more hands-on. But, I mean, I talked to him for a little bit, just seeing how he sees me in the program, too. I mean, I didn't really get to get a meeting with him, but it was just a quick interaction.
Yeah.
But I could definitely tell the man he is. He's a chill guy, but he's definitely hands-on for sure.
Yep. I guess what brought you up to Ohio State in the first place, like to begin with? Was there something that you were interested in seeing about Ohio State, or I guess, where did your interest maybe stem from?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like they always have a top recruiting class. So I feel like I'm like, they're doing something right. So that's why it just gave me an initiative to see what they have over there and see what's, how I can see myself, if I can ever see myself going there, and I definitely can.
You got a lot of offers. We can't talk about every school, but did you get out to some other visits this spring? Any standout visits or schools that
I touched a lot. I mean, I touched all the Florida schools, so all the big Florida schools. So basically, Florida State, Miami. I touched all those schools early in my spring side of the visits. I went to Clemson, Alabama. Of course, Ohio State and USC. I feel like they all stood out in their own ways, being just building that overall relationship, you know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like soon I want to, narrow my list down probably after the summer. So just building those overall chemistry that I have with the coaches and just building that relationship.
Sure. Well, let's ask you about like Clemson and Alabama first, because they are, major programs from out of state. What did you like about Clemson? What has your interest there?
So basically, Coach Allen, I feel like he's one of the greatest DCs. He actually coached at Armwood that's right next to where I live at. So he coached my head coach too. So that's so it's definitely a small world. But
yeah,
I mean, just overall his history. I mean, Coach Boulware, he was here today. That's the Clemson linebacker coach. So I mean, I've been there so many times, because all the Jesuit players I've been there. I mean, Drew, Wade, I'm always there. I've been there probably about 6 or 7 times. So just building that relationship with Coach Sweeney, I mean, they definitely offer guys a little later. So it's taking their time, but it's been great.
Yep. Alabama, obviously another kind of premier national program. What attracts you to the Bama program? What impressions did you get on that last visit?
Really, just that the rich tradition. Just I would say just producing linebackers. You know what I mean? Personally, last year they just had their dog with them. You know what I mean? So it was great. So yeah.
I don't want to. We're gonna have to try to lump the 3 Florida schools together. That's kind of unfair, but what is kind of the message? Because I'm sure you got 3 schools in here in the state of Florida that don't want you to leave. So what's kind of their message and what stands out? If you can quickly kind of summarize if there's anything that stands out about the 3 of those schools.
I feel like all of them tell me the best players in Florida stay in Florida. So that's what they always tell me. But really, I feel like they all have a little bit of a different system. Mm-hmm. So just building. I know Coach JP, he just got moved to linebacker coach, so I'm just building the overall chemistry with him again. Mm-hmm. But Coach Tony White, I mean, he's a great DC just at Nebraska, but just overall just building that chemistry too. And then our Florida side with Coach Roberts and Coach Ballard, you know what I mean? He was here earlier this spring. Just keep building that chemistry, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then of course with Coach having been at Miami, it's really the same thing, you know what I mean? Just building that chemistry, see if I can really see myself in that program.
How much college football do you watch?
I'll be honest, I watch a lot. But I died down a little bit. During the season, I'm like, man, I'm at so many games. So I was watching it because when I was in person, but I really wasn't watching, TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was at every single game, really. I think every other week I was at a game.
Did anything strike you about Ohio State's run? I don't know how closely if you got to watch any of those games. The season might have been over at that point for you. But what stood out to you about that? And do you anything? Just any observations from that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think my favorite player in Ohio State is Sonny Styles. That's probably my favorite. That's my favorite guy. Just saying his size, just what he's able to do on the field is great. But I mean, just their overall, I feel like they had a great roster too. I feel like they can easily just repeat that again. But they had a great run. I feel like they're going to do it again too.
Mm-hmm. What is important to you as you mentioned even possibly narrowing your list down this summer after some visits? What's important to you? What boxes need to be checked, etc.?
I mean, I feel like a lot of these schools, they check a lot. You know what I mean? I feel like every school has great facilities. Every school has great people in the building. But really just a school that could develop me, to see me more as just a football player, you know what I mean? Develop me from all aspects of me as a man, you know what I mean? So things like that for sure.
Elephant in the room with Ohio State is kind of geography. You got 3 Florida schools recruiting you. Alabama's closer. Clemson's closer.
Yes, sir.
Is that going to be a big barrier for whether it's Ohio State, USC, whoever it might be? Is distance from home going to be a barrier that
not
schools
at all,
have to?
Not at all, to be honest. I mean, I'm the last child, so basically after I leave, my parents can go anywhere.
Throwing a huge party.
They can go anywhere.
The minute you walk out the door.
Sure. So my sister, she's not American in DC, so I'm open to everywhere. I just really just want to open doors, you know what I mean? Just open doors for myself. Just be a bigger name, you know what I mean? Just grow more than maybe just a Florida guy. Things
gotcha.
Like that for sure.
Lastly, someone's eventually going to get you. What are they going to get in the player, the person? What are your strengths of your game? What do you take pride in as a player?
I mean, you really just cut on the tape. You can see it for yourself. But I feel like they're getting a dog, just a great man, just someone that's on and off the field, going to be there for you. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to be on the football field. I'm going to be in their classroom, really at all aspects of my life.
And you did mention possibly one more Ohio State visit coming up. Possibly. When would you like to do that?
Definitely this summer. I mean, I know. Early in the summer, I think May 31st, I'm going on a little Texas tour and going to Tennessee. But after that, really, it's just open. I definitely want to test that again. It was a great visit. The past 2 visits were great, so I definitely want to see what Coach Lordice is talking about, and that's my guy. You know what I mean? Coach Lordice is my guy.
So just you want to work out with him and go kind of see what that relationship would be like.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's one thing to talk to him, face, but it's another thing to kind of be coached by him.
That's definitely what you want to see. Every school, I think, when I narrow my list down, I definitely want to go to at least a camp or just work out for the coach if I can see myself getting coached by them.
Yep. Makes sense. All right, Kate, we appreciate your time,
Yes,
man.
sir.
We know you're a busy
I
guy
appreciate
these
it.
days. So
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming out.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely. We don't miss this place. This is a great place to come to.
sure.
So for guys like us, so we appreciate your time. Good luck here on
Yes,
your
sir.
upcoming visits.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.